Hi, my name is Mitch Ward. I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Commerce, majoring in International Business and Marketing. Probably my favourite subject is global branding. I love seeing the side of transnational corporations and large corporations in trying to rival each other in a global market. As we see behind us, we see the Eiffel Tower in Paris, which is very fitting for this subject. I would say that's kind of my area of expertise as well. I mean, like studying large firms. Probably further that point, I'll probably come back to Sydney to continue this. And we're back in Sydney. Although Sydney suburbia isn't as nice of a backdrop as Eiffel Tower, I think we'll be able to manage what we have right now. I think on our topic of marketing, I think the Eiffel Tower is certainly a perfect example to show marketing in Paris and how it drives tourism in that area as well. Now, to further my discussion, as I've worked in marketing myself, I do see that marketing is a large industry driver and what drives global commerce currently in today's markets. As we see firms today centralize their business plans around their marketing and brand perceptions and how they want to perceive themselves within their certain industries and firms. Some people see this as a bad thing, and certainly some firms see this as a bad thing, but from an individual perspective, I see this as a very good thing. I think it creates competition, drives the economy, and certainly creates jobs in marketing and other firms as well. And funnily enough, it's very interesting to study. That's why we're here now, aren't we? Now, to further this topic, I believe within the last 2 to 3 generations, brands have become a large part of our social sphere. People kind of express themselves through their brands, as we see in the fashion industry with brands such as Tommy Hilfiger, Gucci, and Ralph Lauren as the kind of the high-end, affluent kind of brands. But I think people perceive themselves and kind of segment themselves within those communities by wearing those brands. I think it's a very important thing to have. I think it's a way for people to kind of find their identity and how they want to present themselves to their social peers and people that are around them. Now, this point kind of ties into my thought process and philosophy on marketing ethics. Although my previous aspects have displayed how incredible and important marketing is, I believe marketing should have its own set of ethical standards to uphold. I think that within Australia we do have marketing laws to try and do constrain and maintain order between firms, and especially at a consumer level as well within marketing. But I think from a firm perspective and at a firm level, there should be maintained a level of ethical standards and perspective for both the industry and firm level values to be kept as an integral part of their marketing mix, and especially their marketing plan, which obviously ties into their global supply chain and their business plan overall. I think this is certainly mirrored around the theory of deontology, as this philosophy is the normative ethical theory around the mortality of an action that should be based on whether that action should be right or wrong under a series of rules. Rather than being based on the consequences of an action, I think how firms should present themselves and based on their actions and how they kind of set their own values as a firm. I think this is very relevant in our kind of technological world. I think this theory's kind of shows that how firms are breaching the line of ethical and moral standards, as you see individuals' privacy being breached within firms, encroaching on people's personal lives, as seen through social media and other web avenues. And then the last point I want to touch on is the point of CSR. I think CSR is very important today, as we see firms, large or small, engaging with the communities around them. I think that kind of engages consumers to come into their firm and see how they're putting back to the community and providing resources and assets to build a social society around us and kind of build relationships with firms and their consumers. Now, to close off, I want to talk about what I want to kind of do in my future career. I've worked in marketing before and certainly loved it. I'm currently working for an accounting firm in the city, which is probably not going to be my end goal, but I quite enjoy it at the moment. I'll kind of want to move into more marketing and kind of being a brand accountant, so managing a product line within a firm, being either large or small. Kind of very interesting is certainly through my studies as how brands kind of perceive themselves and how they kind of grow a firm, and I want to be a part of that process and part of that supply chain. Thank you very much for watching. Although I'm stuck in Sydney, I'll be back in Paris soon, hopefully making another video, but we will see. Thank you very much.